So just to be clear, this is something that we have spoken about before. 2 years ago, we made a bunch of videos about John Tavares of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Was he the captain back then? I don't know. But ever since getting stripped of the captaincy from the Toronto Maple Leafs, things have been going down an odd path. The Maple Leafs started to suck, and John Tavares got in some pretty big legal trouble with the CRA. We made a bunch of videos. Tavares battling huge legal troubles, owes millions of dollars, more legal issues with the Canada Revenue Agency. That was 2 years ago, and now we have ourselves an update. It turns out that John Tavares' situation has gotten so out of hand that now the 35-year-old Maple Leafs forward is going to court, opposing the gosh darn CRA in order to appeal his $8 million tax bill. Now, just in case you weren't here to check out the videos we made back in 2024, let's dive into this article posted by John Woodward August 18th that describes everything that's going on with John Tavares and the Canadian Revenue Agency. Maple Leafs star forward John Tavares was in a face-off of a different kind Tuesday earlier this week, taking the stand in a tax court appeal of an $8 million bill from the Canada Revenue Agency over his signing bonus to join the Maple Leafs. Tavares gave a minute-by-minute account of the tense negotiations in 2018 that brought the then-captain of the Islanders back to his hometown, in a case observers say could impact the ability of Canadian teams to attract sports talents from south of the border. I just hope to prove what the contract was all about and the intentions in signing it, and everything that went into it. So, overall, you just hope everything you know can work out in my favor, Tavares said in a brief scrum with reporters outside of the courtroom. Talk about that, eh? I mean, pro hockey player, he's used to scrums, they're in the locker room, they're on the press, they're in front of the stage, whatever, and now they're following him into the courthouse. That's great. In case you wanted to know what actually happened, this is where the article dives into the details. Tavares signed a $77 million deal back in 2018? It was 2018, right? Yeah, 2018, the last year of Tavares in New York and the first year of Matthew Barzal over there. 2018 saw John Tavares sign a $77 million deal, of which just over $15 million was a signing bonus, he said. Tavares paid taxes to the U.S. on the signing bonus at 15%, the court heard, when he was still in New York, and he and the team considered a payment an inducement, according to a Canada-U.S. tax treaty. But in 2022, 4 years later, the CRA reassessed the hockey player's tax filing and claimed that he owed $6.85 million in tax, plus $1.2 million in interest, for a total of just over $8 million. The CRA said that with the $15 million payment being paid out over several years and also coming with strings attached, it makes it more like employment income, which would be taxed at a higher rate in Canada. What's behind this case is how you treat the signing bonus. Is it normal wages, or is it something distinct and different? Tavares' lawyer, Justin Kutyan, said. In court, Tavares recounted the negotiations behind the deal in detail, saying that as his contract was up with the Islanders, he was approached by several teams, including San Jose, Toronto, and Vegas. Now, won't you go out there and remember the negotiations from 2018? San Jose was very much in the mix of signing John Tavares. They offered him reportedly $13 million a year in order to get Tavares onto their squad. That would have been the highest paid contract in the league over Connor McDavid's $12.5 had it been signed at the time. Tavares ultimately rejected 13 per season and ended up going with 11 per season with Toronto because he just wanted to be a Maple Leaf. But now, there are issues with the signing bonus that was given to him right away. Kyle Dubas Toronto's GM at the time sent him a text message 1 minute after he was eligible to speak to other teams. Tavares described one key consideration, which was the contract's AAV, and his line in the sand was equivalent to $11 million a year. He wanted that $11 million per season in a signing bonus because such payments are protected in ways employment income is not. Much of that is a signing bonus, so it can't be bought out, and it's protected during a lockout. You try to protect yourself from the unpredictability of life and sport, so as I experienced throughout the contract, we did end up having a lockout. A pandemic happened. I sustained a major injury. The importance of protecting the value of the earnings of the contract was really important to me, he said. And so, there are a number of ways you can look at this. At the end of the day, there are rules that can be jumped over, if you wanted to use that verb. There are many ways to navigate the tax efficiency of the earnings that you get, because it all depends on how you actually say you got said earnings. Money is money at the end of the day, but there are a different amount of ways to pay yourself or to get paid from an employer that jump over and slide underneath different hoops and hurdles according to the CRA. Is it slimy and shady? Probably. But is it something that many people have found ways to navigate? I'd probably say yeah as well, especially if you're a pro athlete making millions and millions of dollars a year. Tavares paid taxes to the US on that signing bonus, and supposedly he did not do much in Canada with that signing bonus and the taxable dollar amount attached to it. Now the CRA is like, hey, wait a minute, you owe $6.85 million in tax on that particular sum of money, and now, it's been a few years, you owe $1.2 million in interest. That was back in 2022. Assuming John Tavares hasn't paid it, which of course he hasn't, it's the entire reason they're going to court now, how much more does John Tavares have to pay? This contract was signed in 2018, and 4 years later the interest accrued was $1.2 million. Now, this contract penalty that he has to pay is $8 million plus, and it's been another 4 years. So, what, are we looking at John Tavares now owing an extra $1.5 to $1.6 million to the CRA, potentially going up to $9.5, $10 million? That's like almost an entire year's worth of what John Tavares was making on the big deal that he signed back in 2018. Now, for what it's worth, there are a number of hockey fans on the subreddit that are all pissed off about John Tavares trying to squeeze out of this. This guy thinks he can get away paying 15% tax on 15 plus million when most people in Canada pay 30% tax on 40K salary. Get screwed. Won't somebody think of the millionaires? Pay your gosh darn taxes, John. Another reply says, wasn't there a big talking point by Alan Walsh that taxes don't matter since players can just find loopholes? I guess this was one of those loopholes. And I guess it was an attempt. That was for foreign players living here, to remove the myth that taxes are the reason people don't play in Canada. It is different for Tavares. He is Canadian. Goodness, what a waste of time and money. Just pay your taxes, man. Pretty sure he's allowed to contest the CRA readjustment in court. That's his right. This is also a part of a functional society. So, there's a very diplomatic answer there from one particular user. Either way, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. John Tavares is in hot water with the Canada Revenue Agency, and his legal troubles have now resulted in him owing $8 million and counting, depending on the rate of interest as time continues to pass. Will Tavares get his way? Will his lawyer find a way to actually fight and defeat the CRA in a legal battle? You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on, and bye.